Welcome back to the Meeple Marathon and a special unboxing of Legends of Sleepy Hollow. Now, this game has a long story that comes along with it that I will share with you to the best of my knowledge as we're unboxing here. But just a little background. I backed this game in the fall of 2017. It was expected to have approximately a year of production. Obviously, they were aiming for a release ideally around Halloween of 2018. I think, though, the initial projections were December of 2018, but either way, about a year. That was obviously almost 5 years ago. And there was, I went back and checked, and there wasn't any huge gaps in the updates, even though I felt like at a certain point I had completely forgotten about this game until I started getting a ton of updates from Greater Than Games. Well, this game was initially supposed to be produced by Dice Hate Me Games, which was affiliated through Greater Than Games, but we kept getting these updates, basically long and short, saying that Greater Than Games was disappointed in how things were going. They were disappointed in the story, in the rule book. They felt like there were major cracks in the gameplay, and that us as the backers weren't being updated properly, and so they basically took it back in-house. And the updates were very much like, hey, these guys weren't doing their job, so we've taken it over, we're saving the day for you. Interesting note, I happen to have a friend who knows one of the designers, the original designers of the game, and from an inside source, it appears that really it was like a conflict of how they felt like the game should move forward. That the original designers had their vision and they were working towards that vision, and it didn't match with Greater Than Games' vision, and so Greater Than Games just took it from them. So interesting, how things like that work. This is definitely one of those cautionary tales for Kickstarter, because this one easily could have just been dropped and never made it to me. It took almost 5 years to get here. Even when Greater Than Games took over the process of them seemingly revamping the entire game. So I'm going to be interested to see what's in this box, because I don't know how much of it is what I backed on Kickstarter way back in 2017, but it still took them a long time, and I know that a lot of that was during COVID and all of a sudden they're working from home, but even like by the time they got the files to the factory, I remember it being almost a year before then production was complete, and that just seems like a really long time to me compared to a lot of the other Kickstarters that I follow. So, but it's here now. We're going to take a look inside and just go through things. So this is the core box. With all of this mess and how long it took to get out, I have no idea whether this is ever going to see retail shelves or anything like that. But this is the core box. There is an expansion that came with it as part of the stretch goals. So we're going to take a look at the expansion. This is some promo stuff that I'm not sure if these are just like replacement cards or what the deal with this is. But then they also decided to just kind of randomly, this was not part of the original pledge that I backed, but this is a solo adventure. It's like a deck of cards. It says it plays in about 30 minutes. It's a solo game only. Escape with Ichabod Crane, Lost in the Woods. So we're going to take a look at that too. It's kind of like just a little bonus content. I don't know if that's like their way of apologizing for how long this process took, but again, I was just sitting back and just as a spectator the whole time, and it did get delivered. So let's take a look at everything. All right, so here is the core box. Just a few things I wanted to point out before we even take the lid off of here. One thing is that these are the original designers here. Their names are still on the box. When I texted my friend and said, hey, look what arrived, he reached out to his friend, the designer, who I'm not going to name which one, but they were actually surprised that their name was still on the box. They have been that released from everything. Another thing is that this is again cautionary tale of Kickstarters. The original Kickstarter part one of the stretch goals was that this box was going to be like a feel more like a treasure chest, and it was going to have this like magnetic close and then flap that flipped open. You can see how, not necessarily a treasure chest, but like an old-timey box with a hinged lid and everything. You can see how, you know, they were going for that. And on the front here, it's like a keyhole. But obviously that just didn't come to fruition. You know, things had to be cut somewhere. So, all right. So this says it's a 14 plus game, 1 to 4 players, 30 to 120 minutes. This is a, you know, dungeon crawl-esque game where you've got some heroes and they are taking on, working through a storybook that is, you know, the Legends of Sleepy Hollow. So, all right, read this first. How to play guide. I do always like it when they give me a how to play guide, kind of abbreviated rule book just to get things started. This was one of the things that was part of a stretch goal that I appreciate that they did include. It's going to be these 2 form bases here that you're going to snap down, and it's going to include your health tracker in the base. So really nice touch with this. I hope this really works out. My question is going to be whether I can unsnap it once I've snapped it in, or am I going to have to paint everything up before I can ever play this game? We'll find out. So just some initial impressions on the rule book here, because this is one of the things that they, Greater Than Games, said that they didn't like how things were being portrayed here. There's a lot of text here. Pictures are scant and not that big. So, you know, this is not one that you breeze through really easily. I definitely would have added some more pictures, some more illustrations. There's this whole 2-page notes section, which seems weird to me. You know, I feel like this should have been the last page. And obviously, I do appreciate a round summary and an icon reference. I'd like to know in the comment section below if you actually have ever used a notes section in the back of a rule book. Like, who has ever written some notes in here about, you know, their gameplay or commonly forgotten rules, something like that? I'm curious. Just curious, because some people still do include that stuff in their rule books, and I never understood why. So we see that there is some scenery here that's already punching out, and that's okay. It doesn't appear to be damaged. Here is the storybook. I'm not going to really dig in here, but there's at least, no, hold on, let me flip through it back here and say chapter 10. So there's at least 10 chapters in this story, and then the expansion, I believe, adds some more. Let's see here. Here is just the introductory pages using this book, introduction, and the legends. So this gives you an introduction on you know, who are the playable characters: Jeremiah Pink, Elijah Capel, what was her name? Emily Van Winkle, and Matthew Garreau. And then we have the chapters. So again, we're not going to get into that because that would be spoilerish. So, all right, now we've got lots of cardboard, it would appear, on top. Some very plain looking room tiles. Hopefully these are simply to kind of change up the landscape of some of the main tiles. This would appear to be a very large health tracker. It's going to go on somebody's base here. The backside of these are basically the same. So I need to find room to place these here. All right, so some more room tiles. All right, here's some more interesting looking stuff here. Definitely punches out easily, it would appear, but looks like some barrels, you know, some pumpkin tokens. Here are, what's nice is that they've gone ahead and said, all right, you know, these should go on these pumpkin walkers, these should go on the pumpkins, these should go on the tree demons. Here's Jeremiah's, Matthias's. So yeah, these look like these are going to work out well. These numbers are pretty small. I guess Jeremiah has a ton of health versus Matthias here. I would have liked for them to have been more like this size here, but it is what it is. All right, let's see here. So not a ton of cardboard here, just like 3 sheets. Yeah, nothing really different on the back side. a whole lot of these already popping out. Okay, and just most of the cardboard is really just these health trackers, to be perfectly honest with you, and then some of these tokens. But yeah, that is it. That's all of the cardboard punch outs that we have. So let's take a look at some miniatures first. We've got quite a stack of scenery tiles. Let's just set those off to the side. I just kind of want to file through here and see what all is in here. This is just a plain piece of cardboard, probably for shipping purposes. And then lots of cards. And there's something else under here. So we'll take a look at these cards up closer. Some secret boxes. I do like secret boxes. Those are always fun. Alright, so obviously we're not going to take a look at those. We'll set those off to the side. These appear to be maybe cards. I'm wondering if you're only supposed to open these in order. Or no, maybe Elijah J54. Alright, and then there's a piece of paper here. Okay, these are the player boards. So these appear to be nicely done here. Let's pop these off here. So these are unique to the characters, and they are nicely dual layered here. You can see there's a spot to get your finger in, so you can put a card in here. I'm assuming you might like upgrade your clothes for defense or upgrade your weapon here, but you can easily then just pop out the card that's in there. There's slots for accessories, relics, items, ultimate abilities, and then essentially this is a game, if I remember correctly, of kind of managing your resource of energy. And where are you going to spend that energy? You're going to move it into this shot, this shot, this shot, and then you can add skill cards, which are going to make these sections even better. And then you're going to have to heal to get them back into here. So, energy management. So there's Emily Van Winkle, the Tanner, health 6, actions 4, move 4. All right. Here is Elijah Capel, the Minister, health 7, actions 5, move 3. Okay. And then we have Jeremiah Pink. He is the Undertaker. Okay, health 8, 5 actions, 3 move. And then last but not least, we have Matthias Garreau, who, that makes it look like a female. In that picture, war veteran, health 8, actions 5, move 3. Okay. All right, so this is probably one of the nicest things. This and the health tracker built into the base are two things that I'm most excited about here. Let's set these miniatures off to the side here. Got some baggies, but we all know what we're going to do with those. We have some custom dice. So one orange die, and then a bunch with some pumpkins, some blank sides, things like that. Where'd that go? So here are the dice that come with the game. Like 3 pumpkins, 2 pumpkins, 2 pumpkins, a blank, and then this appears to be a standard D6 in orange and black. The dice feel fine. They're not big and chunky or too heavy. They're a little light, but they're perfectly fine. And then this, I believe, is going to be like your energy, and this is what you're going to be moving around your dual layer player board here. So some red discs, possibly for damage, and then these yellow sunburst discs. I'm guessing maybe energy, or maybe it's the other way around. All right. So miniatures. Hopefully these are all intact. Pile them out there like that. Okay. So here's like a tree ant character coming up out of his stump. It's not bad. Here's like one of the pumpkin skeleton guys. Yeah, get a light on here. There we go. All right. So there's one of the pumpkin guys. Some decent detail. These miniatures, they feel sturdy. I don't know how long that finger is gonna last. Little pointy finger here. Let's take a look back. Now that we've got some better light here on the tree stump. What else we got here? We got some little walking pumpkins with kind of a little half face on there. Again, his legs feel pretty sturdy. He seems fine. It's just that finger of the one guy, the pointing finger, that I'm a little concerned about. All right, what else we got here? I believe this is the first player marker or the turn order marker or something like that. I like this one. This one's really cool. Nice and sturdy. And that appears to be it. I don't really see much of anything else in here that's any different. So let's take a look at some of the special characters now. Hopefully they have survived without issue. Okay, I saw a piece floating around, but I think it's just the bottom that's going to snap in eventually. All right, so here's Emily Van Winkle. I remember there being a lot of back and forth about her bow and whether or not they were going to, have a string included. This feels very fragile right here. Maybe painting it up will help sturdy it up a bit, but otherwise decent miniature there. And you can see that all of these have like a big arrow in the base to help you keep track of your health. And here's the war veteran that I need to figure out whether it's a male or a female. Guess it really doesn't matter. And then the minister here, the old guy. His stick is solid. His fingers are kind of wonky, but he'll be fine. All these guys are really tall and skinny. Tall and skinny. And the Undertaker with his shovel. The shovel's doing pretty good there. Okay. And then the coup de grace, the big bad man himself, is God, what is this creature's name here? Headless Horseman. Jeez. So this is a decent mini here. The horse has got like the hair in his face, and he's obviously headless. The pumpkin could use a little bit more detail, in my opinion. But other than that, it's a nice miniature. That big one, that big dial I was looking at, must be for his miniature there. Okay. So that's going to do it for everything except the cards. So let's zoom in a little bit, and I need to first figure out which cards are safe to open and which ones, for example, this one here says beware on the front. So we might not be showing off this deck. So yeah, let's take a look at some cards. So after a careful opening of all the decks here, it would appear that everything is meant to be secret. And I was looking through the instruction manual, and there's really no setup instructions. So I'm assuming that the storybook contains everything that you need to find which cards you should use. Just looking through off camera here at the setup for chapter 1, and it says, spawn the following monster level and placement, monsters at level 1, legends start location. So yeah, I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, but basically just briefly looking through these, you can see that the card backs all have a letter that corresponds with the characters, and then like this is Jeremiah's blessing here, and then he's got clothes and actions and tools, and so each character has their own little upgrade deck here. And so I'm assuming you're just kind of going to line these up and divide them up as necessary. and then go find them when instructed to do so. But since everything has these beware, it says this deck is not to be shuffled or looked through on pain of Curse of Sleepy Hollow. Begin at the other side of the deck and only look at the cards from this deck when specifically instructed to do so. Sleepy Hollow is full of dangers. So as not to spoil anything, we're going to push these off to the side and take a look next at the map tiles here, which I don't think contain any spoilers. Okay, so here we have the map tiles here. They're basically just large squares, but they're probably set up so that you can create different configurations, even though like this one has a tree halfway across. So I don't know if you could add it to anything else other than this next one, but we'll see. Maybe they've figured that all out. But some of these are double-sided, some of them are single-sided, but I'm just going to shut up and let you guys enjoy the artwork here. All right, that's going to do it for the base box. Now, up next, we are going to take a look at the expansion box titled The Ghosts of Tarry Town. And then at the end of the video, we'll take a look at that Lost Woods kind of solo mini game that's included. So stay tuned here. All right, so up next, we have the expansion, Ghosts of Tarry Town. I honestly have no idea what's going to be in this box, but I'm going to assume... well, some more cards here. The Von Tassel approval. Suppose that's Tom Vassell. Beware. But, I mean, the Von Tassel. That's literally just Tom Vassell with 2 letters switched and the N instead of the M. I wonder if they did that on purpose. All right. We'll take a look at this here in a second and a storybook. So, not a whole lot in here. 3 weeks have passed since the events surrounding the Headless Horseman and Ichabod Crane's disappearance. Okay, this is just a storybook with more setup. Yeah. So not a whole lot of information here. And an epilogue. So I guess this really just is more story content. let's take a look at these tiles here. And like I said, we're not gonna break into the cards so as to not create any spoiler effects. All right, but you can see these have lots of words on them, whereas the other ones did not. So it's just, they're all single-sided. They appear to all be just single-sided. So I guess this is Tarry Town. Yeah, lots of locations, lots of words all over the place. So yeah, that's it. Not a whole lot in here. I mean, I feel like the box was even bigger than it needed to be. They could have easily made the box. I guess they made this rule book tall. But yeah, that was it. That was all that's in there. So let's just roll right into this additional set of cards here. And I'm curious as to what these are for. I'll probably go back and look through the updates to see if there's an explanation. One single baggie, okay. And some totem cards. Totem Jeremiah, Iron Trowel. Once a scenario, when you make an attack, you may make it up to range 3. Okay. And these appear to just be all of the chapters, including the Tarry Town chapters. Here, advanced pervasive fear at the start of each legend's turn. You gain 1 ultimate. Boom, 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 boom. Round A, spawn, move, attack. Round B, move, attack, spawn. So I'm wondering if these are just like quick reference cards for the scenarios, so you don't have to try and keep that book open, because it doesn't look like it's going to lay flat very easily. But this gives you all the information you need to have at a glance. That's what this appears to be. So it's a nice touch. You would hope that this eventually is just going to be included in the game. Maybe this is like the promos, you know, the totems, the totem promo for Legends of Sleepy Hollow. But I would hope that they eventually figure out a way to just include something like that in the game. It's a nice touch for quality of life of play, so you don't have to sit there holding your hand, keeping a book open. But yeah, so that essentially does it for all of the Legends of Sleepy Hollow content. Now let's take a look at the Lost in the Woods kind of solo card game that was included as a bonus, and then we're going to be done. Alright, so this is the last thing we're going to look at today. This is the Lost in the Woods solo adventure by Robert Johnson. And if I can get... There we go. Small little box. This is, you know, like not even as thick as a deck box here. So let's take a look here. What we got. Set up, take the mansion card and bridge card and place them in play areas so that 9 progress cards will fit in between them as shown. This is called the Forest Row. Lost in the Woods has 1 punch board clock and 45 cards. Okay. The objective is to place 9 progress cards in the Forest Row, thereby reaching the bridge at the edge of the forest before 1 hour. 12 time increments is up. When you place the 9th card in the Forest Row, you immediately win the game. If the clock ever reaches the 12th increment, you immediately lose the game. Progress cards and fright cards. Trying to draw unique sets of 2 or more progress cards with matching good luck symbols, while trying to avoid drawing either pairs of fright cards or one of each fright card. Okay. Interesting. So yeah, let's take a look at what we got here. A little clock. I don't know, are they going to give us the piece to put that together? Hopefully it's in here somewhere. Okay, yeah, here it is. Alright, it appears they actually gave us 2. Not bad. So there's 1 tucked in there for safe. We're going to leave that there for safekeeping. So let's take a look at these cards and just see what they look like. I'm thinking, you know, it's like a solitary game of rummy in a way. That's what it feels like. But maybe the artwork's really fun. It's a good size, a good traveling size. So I don't know which. Okay, this is the bridge, and that's the mansion. Okay, so everything else in between, I guess, is a progress card, or maybe this is the back. Okay, so this must be the progress card. So let's flip these over here. All right, so bridge card, mansion card, we've seen those. Yeah, I don't know if this is a fear card or what. Sorry, there's some glare here. Okay, so there's the symbols. Maybe this is the progress cards. You have to be getting sets of these. There's a good chunk of these. Alright, that must be it. I feel like they could have improved the artwork a little bit. Made them a little different. Alright, and then there's the old well. One for each. Okay. And here, these must be the fear cards. So some wolves, some owls, some bats, and the Headless Horseman himself. Ooh, not just one of those. Thunder and lightning, gravestone, torch, compass, scarecrow, signpost. Okay, well, that is it. Like I said, this was kind of like a bonus. I was not expecting this to be included in my pledge. Don't even know if there was an option to buy just this, but it's basically a deck of cards with a little clock, and yeah, we'll eventually get around to this and show it off on the channel. So if you're really eager to see this one, let me know in the comment section, and that will spur me on to get to it faster than I normally would. But yeah, that was Lost in the Woods. So that's going to do it for our unboxing of Legends of Sleepy Hollow. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know in the comment section below. We will be doing a how to play video and a playthrough of this on the channel, and as I find out more information about the game in general, whether it's coming to retail or not, I'll be sure to share that news on the channel as well. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more content like this in the future, please consider subscribing to the channel. Once again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.